The controller pattern. Before we think about how we're going to manage them, we really need to understand, well, what are their core needs and drivers? So the primary thing for a controller pattern in their lowest drive is their patience. So for them, they love variety, they need change, they love to initiate change, and they want to work on a variety of tasks and be able to move freely throughout their day. They also have their high formality drive, and that's really their highest driver. Pulling their profile along is they want rules and structure. They want to make sure that they're delivering work to a very high standard. They will naturally need to have clarity around expectations, and that's key when we think about how we're going to manage them. So when we're delegating work and we're managing a controller, we need to think about delegating them work that doesn't have too much repetitive tasks. They love to have a variety of things on their plate. They want to be working freely and interchanging across tasks, and then making sure that they can deliver things to a really high standard and apply their knowledge. They also will love learning and building their expertise, because that's where they feel most confident, is when they've got that expertise and are able to share that with others. So make sure that you're always supporting them in their learning goals, becoming more of an expert in a topic. They'll love that subject matter expertise. When you're providing feedback to a controller, you need to be cautious that they're going to be a little bit sensitive, especially around things that makes them feel like you're being critical towards their quality of work. If their highest drive is their formality, always remember, I need to approach with caution here, and I need to be quite aware that they're going to be that sensitive to that feedback. The other thing to think about when you're rewarding and recognizing them is you want to do it in probably a little bit more of a private way. They're not overly extroverted. Typically, controllers sit right around the middle in their extroversion. They don't need a lot of public praise, but they do like praise and recognition around their quality of work, or maybe around how proactive they've been able to be on a project, the way they've been able to drive change and then implement to a really high standard. They will love hearing feedback in that space. When you're coaching and developing them, potentially they'll need that support around, getting something done, and it doesn't always have to be perfect before they launch it back out to the business. So just make sure you can support them around that quality, really supporting them and allowing them to do it that way, but not over analyzing things at times. The other thing to think about if we're coaching and recognizing a controller pattern is making sure that they can lead things. So they typically like an element of independence and control over their own ideas, but they will like collaboration at times. So because they sit right in the middle there, they'll need a little bit of both. I would make sure that you delegate work that is quite structured and clear. They don't like working on ambiguity. They want to make sure I know what's expected of me. So delegating, you need to be quite clear, quite structured. Here's what I'm expecting. Here's like how, where, what, why. So when you're delegating, you are going to need to get into the details. And also don't delegate work where there are too many people involved. They'll find that frustrating. They still do require that level of independence. And yes, they want to collaborate, but they'll definitely want control over their area of delegated task. So that's something you really need to keep in mind. Now, make sure that if things aren't clear, they're going to get frustrated. So make sure that you're able to get them to talk about areas of frustration for them, but we can almost predict that they'll be frustrated when maybe roles aren't clear. So you'll hear them saying, well, what's expected of that person? And here's what I think is what's expected of them. There might be some conflict for them around expectations and how they might differ. So that's a lot of information for you in terms of how to best manage a controller pattern. Hopefully it's been helpful, and we look forward to you learning more soon.